Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mini Scroll, the daily internet culture podcast bringing you the biggest stories from social media, the creator economy, and the digital space every Monday through Thursday. I'm your host, Lauren Meisner, the founder of the youth digital media brand, Centennial World. Welcome back to Mini Scroll, everyone. For those who watch the podcast, I am wearing my comfort sweater again. This is like the sweater that I wear when I feel like I just need to be like cozy and warm and protected. And so I am in this sweater again. You guys are going to be like, you wear that sweater so much. But that's why. Okay, I had the biggest day ever, possibly, of my career yesterday. I know you guys know that because I have been talking about it for the days leading up. But I need to give you guys a big debrief, a big recap. So I was on 2 panels at South by Southwest Sydney, and then I interviewed Heather and Whitney from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. In between, I had a founder lunch, and then at the end of the day, my brother and I went to the Smile 2 Australian premiere. So it was literally like the biggest day ever, but it was honestly my dream day in the sense that like I've been thinking about everything that I did yesterday from like when I woke up, my makeup artist came over, we did a full glam to like, when I went to sleep. And I'm like, all of those things are things that I would have dreamt about years ago, especially doing for myself, for my own business that I'm like building on my own. That is so freaking cool that I got to do not only just like, 1 or 2 of those things, but like all of these things all at once. Like starting my day with glam. Nothing makes me happier. You guys know I'm like a glam girl. Like I'm like a hair, nails, makeup girl that like makes me happy. I am such a beauty girl. So like having my glam first thing, doing these 2 professional panels, having this like networking lunch with other female founders, doing obviously the interview of my dream with bad weather from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And then going to a movie premiere. Like it was honestly chaos and I was so exhausted and I'm still so exhausted, but it was literally like my dream day. And I just can't believe that I got to live something like that. It was amazing. And I'm so grateful for all the opportunities. So many of them came in really last minute, things that I just like did not expect. But yes, the panels went well. That's kind of boring. They went well. I feel like I articulated what I wanted to say well. It was really exciting to be on the main stage for the panel. So they have like the auditorium, which is where the keynotes are. I don't know if they're doing panels in the auditorium or if it's just keynote speeches and like performances. But yes, so we were on the main stage of like panels, which was really cool. And that all went well. Like it went well. I was way less nervous than I thought I would be. Normally when I do panels or public speaking things for the business, I feel a lot of pressure to articulate myself well and sound impressive and smart because I think we're very small. We're, kind of this new indie media brand in Australia. I mean, we're not that new anymore, but like not super well known. We didn't have these moments that really blew us up in the same way that other independent media or like new age media, some of the brands have had here. So, we're still relatively unknown and I always really want to impress, of course, like I want to be able to show up and like really articulate like our message, our mission, and show people like this is why we're important and why you should work with us at the end of the day. So normally when I do panels or public speaking for the business, I am super nervous. Even if the stakes feel very low, I still feel all that pressure because it's like I am the brand, I'm the face of the brand. And I really hate usually holding mics rather than just having them clipped to me because my hand will be shaking. Like I'll be so nervous. But both panels that I did yesterday, I literally didn't shake at all. I was holding mics the whole time. I didn't shake at all. I did not feel nervous like I normally do. I actually felt quite comfortable. And I think that's partly because we got to know each other, the panelists and we got to know each other a little bit for probably like an hour before. And like we were really like actually getting to know each other and like chatting. And I felt very, safe around them. I felt like all of us would be able to kind of save each other if things were going awry. And I've been on panels where it didn't really feel like that. So yes, I was really proud of myself because I felt like a level up. Like this was the biggest kind of brand name panel I've ever done, like South by Southwest. But the fact that I wasn't nervous for either of them was like a big win. Okay, I need to tell you about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City interview. So it was, you guys, I think the best celebrity interview I've ever done, maybe just the best interview I've ever done, like full stop, in the sense of like the energy, the chaos. It was like bit after bit after bit. Like they were just on. Like it was a performance, it was a show. They love the camera in the best way. They were so entertaining and they were just so like happy. I don't know, they just had this lightness about them where they were like so excited to be doing a full day of press that I'm sure is so incredibly exhausting, but you would not know it. Like we were at the end of the day, our interview was at 4:45 and it was like 9 a.m. in the morning, like they just had their first coffee. They were so infectious and they were so sweet, you guys. Like they were the nicest people. And they were so nice to Alex and Annabelle. I brought Alex and Annabelle to like help me yesterday for the whole day. And yeah, it was just like, they were just magical. Like it was actually amazing. It was an insane interview. I feel like I blacked out and I was laughing so hard and I have no idea what happened. So when I go to edit the footage to publish next week for you guys, I have no idea what's going to come out. It wasn't very long. It was like 15 minutes, I think, and I'm going to have to cut some stuff. So it'll be a good like mini episode, right? It'll be good like mini scroll vibes. And they kept telling me that I need to be on Real Housewives of Sydney because I was like all dressed up. I got dressed by Shauna Joy, which is an Australian brand here, because it was just like a big day, right? It was a big like talent press day. So they dressed me. Obviously, I had my full glam. So I was like matching their energy. And, you know, of course, normally like reporters don't go to interviews, maybe unless it's like on the red carpet or something, that glam, that dressed up. So they just were like obsessed with the fact that I was like matching their energy. They were like, you guys are so prepared. You have all this real equipment. Like everyone else has just been in here with like Vox Pops. And we had like, you know, the full camera set up so that we could film it for the pod. And it was just like really good. But yeah, they kept being like, you need to be on the Real Housewives of Sydney. Like, you're so pretty. You're so glam. Why are you not on the Real Housewives of Sydney? Like, Andy Cohen would love you. I was like, I actually interviewed Andy Cohen once on the red carpet and they were like, oh my God, and he loved you? And I was like, well, it was like 5 seconds long. So I don't really know about that. But yeah, it was just so sweet. And like, I don't know, they were just so warm. They're exactly what you would expect. And it was real. I mean, actually, you know what? I was going to keep going, but a lot of what I've just told you, we talked about in the interview. So I'm going to save it. But yeah, the vibes were amazing. They were so sweet to the girls. Like I said, they were like complimenting them. They gave them both big hugs. We were taking pictures at the end. And then they were like, Alex, Annabelle, like come in the photos. Like it was just the best. The best. So I cannot wait for you guys to hear the interview. I hope it turned out well because like I said, I kind of blacked out. Okay, let's just get into the stories for today. So the first story that I have for you guys is that Shari Franke has spoken out on the Lifetime movie about her mother, Ruby Franke, and her arrest. So there is a new Lifetime movie that's about to be released about Ruby Franke and her business partner, Jodi Hildebrandt. The film is called Mormon Mom Gone Wrong, The Ruby Franke Story, and will tell the story of the 8 Passengers YouTube channel and how Ruby got involved with her former business partner, Jodi Hildebrandt. Quickest recap ever, both Ruby and Jodi were sentenced to up to 30 years for child abuse against Ruby's younger children back in February. Heather Locklear is actually starring as Jodi, which is kind of crazy. And I just wanted to say before I kind of get into Shari's response, like it is really wild how quickly these networks are releasing these films about like big pop culture moments. We've seen this now several times with the Bravo universe where, you know, like The Housewife and the Hustler, like Jen Shaw's whatever one that was, I forget what that one was about, but all of these kind of like true crime situations with reality TV, Randall Emmett from Vanderpump Rules and Lala, like these things are happening. And then I think it's because the streamers can just like, you know, create and release things so much quicker than we could have years ago. But it's really, I think it's a little bit like insensitive to be capitalizing on this so quickly. And that's why they're doing it, obviously. Like releasing something so quickly like this is because they know that people will watch it because they're interested in the story right now. Whereas previously, sure, there might have been a documentary or like a movie made about Jodi Hildebrandt and Ruby and 8 Passengers and everything that happened, but it would be in like 10 years, you know? This feels icky. Like, it's literally just this, it's the same year. It's the same year that they were sentenced. So Shari, who is the eldest daughter of Ruby. So Shari's been very vocal about what happened with her parents and her mother and Jody. You know, she was posting on her stories when she got arrested saying, like, finally, my mom is facing some consequences about what she's been doing to my younger siblings. Like, unfortunately, Shari has, you know, she's the eldest. It seems like she's taken it upon herself to be an advocate for her younger siblings, which is like so sweet, but, you know, also so unfortunate as a child of her parents herself. So as soon as a trailer for the show came out a few days ago, Shari wrote on Instagram stories a note about the Lifetime movie coming out about my family. I saw the trailer suddenly in class and had an anxiety attack. None of us were contacted about the movie. None of the proceeds are going to the kids. This movie is trash and only hurts my siblings more. Please do not support this movie. She followed up saying, here's my daily reminder. The Lifetime movie cannot air. Please help me and help me make sure this movie doesn't get watched or supported or released. I will keep pressing this issue. Thank you for standing with me. We were not consulted. We are not getting a dime from this movie. This is deeply traumatic for me to witness. And she's actually been posting every single day since on her stories with like just a daily reminder, don't support this movie. Daily reminder, do not watch this movie. So she also commented on the official trailer. She wrote, this is shameful. This movie should not be supported, let alone released. I feel so bad for this family. I feel so bad for these children. Like, they've been through so much in the last 12 months. And now to have this like dramatization of their experience starring Heather Locklear is just insane. And I do worry that, you know, from what we know about Jody, it seems like she would probably love to know that there's a movie being made and Heather Locklear is starring as her, you know, like this is actually probably her dream. She probably loves knowing that she is like famous now. So this is just like really upsetting and I will absolutely not be watching this. You know, Shari's saying, please don't watch it. Absolutely will respect that. So I'm not going to, you know, like report on the movie or anything because I'm not going to watch it. And I'm hoping that there's going to be a way that this kind of backlash will result in, I don't know, something tangible, but like, I don't think it will. Like, I don't think that, you know, Lifetime's going to like pull the movie or anything. I just don't think that's what is going to happen, unfortunately, but I think Shari's going to keep trying. Okay, the next story that I have for you guys is a very tragic one. Liam Payne has reportedly passed away at the age of 31. So Liam Payne of One Direction fame has reportedly died after falling from a third-floor balcony at a hotel in Buenos Aires. This news just came out a few hours ago, so there's like not a lot of information yet. But according to TMZ, quote, witnesses say this happened shortly after 5 p.m. in Buenos Aires and that Liam had been acting erratic in the hotel lobby earlier. He had smashed his laptop and had to be carried back to his room. And then the Sydney Morning Herald wrote, police were called to the hotel in the capital's leafy Palermo neighborhood, responding to an emergency that cited, quote, an aggressive man who could be under the effects of drugs and alcohol. This is so sad and scary and tragic. And we've been talking about Liam so much on the podcast, so it kind of feels surreal, you know, and his ex-girlfriend, I think it was last week or the week before, made that big TikTok video about him, and that kind of brought his name back up in like all these past interviews and things that he'd done. Like it brought it all back to light, and a lot of people were talking about him, and this is just really sad and scary. And like I said, we don't really have any other information. And at this time, the One Direction, and at the time of recording this, I haven't seen any One Direction bandmates say anything. I imagine they will, and I imagine maybe there'll be some type of tribute or something that they do for Liam. But yeah, this is just so sad. All right, I wanted to leave you guys on a happier note. So I think this, I guess happy. I guess it depends on how you look at it, actually. But I wanted to talk to you guys about the Victoria's Secret fashion show because it came back last night for the first time after a 6-year hiatus, and I watched it, and there is a lot of discussion about it. But yes, the Victoria's Secret fashion show made its return after a 6-year hiatus last night. So in 2019, the show was canceled. quote, amid lagging brand sales, declining viewership, and a sea of criticisms and controversy largely directed at its lack of diversity and inclusivity, writes news.com.au. So the brand has spent the last 6 years, I guess, trying to kind of rehab its image a little bit more, and they decided they've done enough. So they're ready to bring the fashion show back. And things that I thought were really cool, Teffy co-hosted the pre-show event with Olivia Culpo. I thought it was so cool to see Teffy, a TikToker, just fucking slaying. I've actually interviewed Teffy. She was an amazing celebrity interview too, because she was also so chaotic and just said like whatever she wanted. And then she got her mom, so we're on Zoom, and then she got her mom on Zoom. And I was like talking to her mom with her. That was actually crazy. That was really funny. So yeah, love Teffy. She slayed as always. Lisa from Blackpink performed multiple times. She opened the show with a performance. Tyla performed. Lisa and Tyla like slayed. Like they just did so well. Like, oh my God. I think they chose such good musical acts, like such relevant, young, fresh musical acts. It was just such a good call. There were so many icons: Gigi Hadid, Kate Moss, Barbara Palvin, Adriana Lima, Bahati Prinsloo, Candice Swanepoel, Tyra, Paloma El Sessa, Bella Hadid, Ashley Graham, Cher performed. That was insane. It was just like so star-studded. And in my opinion, it was not that diverse. Like I think they could have done so much better than what they did. I mean, I guess it was more diverse than their previous shows, but it was not, I would not watch that fashion show not knowing it was Victoria's Secret and think, oh, that was like a representative show. Like, absolutely not. So it has been copying some criticism because of that. And I was watching it and thinking like, wow, I do understand why this show was so popular for so many years. It's not that I never watched it. Like I definitely did. But when I was younger, my self-esteem was much lower than it is now. And I think that's normal. You know, I think you kind of grow up and grow into yourself and accept yourself. And back then when it was really popular, when I was in high school and at university, like I could barely watch it because it just made me feel so bad about myself. So I watched it in full, and it is like, I mean, it's like going to like a concert or something, right? And it's so fun, and like the audience is like screaming and having the best time, and all the models are having the best time. And I feel like it's one of the opportunities, like one of the best opportunities for models to really feel like rock stars, you know? So I totally see why they love it, because they don't just have to walk down at some like really chic fashion show and be like really serious and really poised. Like they can just have like a good time. There's like crazy musical performances. Like they must feel like they are rock stars when they're doing that show, and that would just be so much fun. And I would like had chills watching the show. And I was like, I know that this is like still kind of problematic, but like I'm also loving this. So yeah, I enjoyed it, but I still would not suggest anyone watch it if you have issues with like body image, comparison, self-esteem, because it was not diverse enough, like just full stop, you know? But they really pulled out like all the stops for this, and I thought it was a very entertaining couple of hours. Anyways, guys, that's it for Mini Scroll today. Thank you so much for listening. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. Please rate us on Spotify. I'm really trying to get our Spotify reviews up. Just star rate us. All you have to do is like tap the stars. It would mean so much to me. There will be a deep dive tomorrow, and then I will be back to talk to you on Monday. Okay, bye.